I would love to own Nick Chubb today. Oh, Merry Christmas, guys. Merry Christmas. Christmas Eve. We got some barn burners. Saquon Duty. Saquon Barkley reporting for duty. Daniel Jones reporting for duty. Ooh, everybody wants to keep down the Giants. See, Rich, everybody wants to keep down the Giants. I'm not doubting them. I'm not, you know what? We got to look at all the weather. Weather cannot be disregarded. Weather cannot be disregarded today, boy. We got some super historic cold games. I got to mark these games. It is freezing. It is freezing out here. Out here, like I'm outside. It's freezing. Ferociously cold. It's cold, like the 49er defense. Cold. I think that's the only game that the team deserves to lay the points that I saw. Nobody else. Buffalo, that's going to be a cold game in Chicago today. Ooh, oh, it's going to be frosty out there. 8.5's a big number. Big number. Oh, man. Houston Texans, Tennessee's in trouble. Jacksonville's coming. Jacksonville's coming. Tennessee's in trouble. Tennessee's got the Texans this week. They better win. They better win. Next week, the Titans got Dallas, and then they play Jacksonville at the end of the season. They play Jacksonville. Tennessee's in a load of trouble because they got a rookie quarterback. Malik Willis is probably going to be good, but you can't count on him to definitely like take you there. That's a tall task to ask a rookie to win the division. They have to hold Jacksonville off. Jacksonville controls their own destiny because they played Tennessee and they already beat them once. They already beat them once. Philadelphia, nobody's looking at this from Dallas's perspective. Philadelphia, that's a hard game for Dallas. They're not exactly playing loose right now after blowing that game against Jacksonville. It's going to be a tough game for Dallas. Dallas is not going to stroll to victory, but it is in Jerry World. Nice weather. You're going to get the nice Dallas weather. They might have too much for Philly today. You never know. But Philly's a nice live dog going down the slate. Giants, Vikings. That's the I can't get a read on either team game. Can't get a read on either team. That's a great game for the two teams to be matched up because the Giants are tricky and Minnesota's tricky. Saints and Browns. Cleveland, freezing. That's a Nick Chubb game written all over it. What's the temperature going to be like in Cleveland at kickoff? You got to love Nick Chubb today if you have him. Anytime. Cleveland, -9. It's going to feel like -9 at kickoff. That's a Nick Chubb written all over it day. Nick Chubb is strong, big, shifty, super back. What's up, kid? What's up, T-Rich? Super back. I'm looking at all the games that are raising my antennas. Giants and Vikings, I can't get a read on either team, T-Rich. I'm glad they're playing each other. Detroit, Carolina, $1 million to the table. I'm rolling with Detroit today. Great day for a round robin because I feel like I can get most of them right. So if you put it in there round robin, if I get 6 out of 8, 5 out of 8, I'm happy. 4 out of 8 because I like a few dogs. What do you got there, Thomas? Let's see. Mark Andrews. Oh, I was having this conversation with a few other people. Oh, damn, that's tough. That's tough. Mark Andrews, I haven't seen it from anybody but Lamar. Like I know a few people that were like worried about that as well. And it's cold. It's cold in Baltimore. But right now there's snow on Pittsburgh's field right now. Doused. It's going to be 13 degrees at game time. It's going to be a tough game out there too. That's tough. Two tough ones. Two tough ones. Oh, man. Right now, I would lean I would stay with Andrews tentatively, but maybe you might have to go with Waller. Tony C, what are you doing? Man, not speaking as a fan, yes, I would not be surprised. Like here, I saw it from. I took both sides. Would I be surprised if Minnesota loses today, like and the Giants win? Of course not, because I just saw the Colts, the garbage Colts. They were up 33-0 last week at halftime, so I wouldn't be. But would I be surprised if the Giants lost? No, because Minnesota's tough. It's a wacky game. It's one that I'm not going to tie into everything. No way. No way. That's a wacky game. I got a little thing with Jefferson maybe exploding and stealing an MVP. Maybe you never know. Everybody, you can see, guys. If Kansas City's got a tough game today against Seattle, their favorite, 10-point favorite. Thomas, you know what? That's going to be tough. First, I want to get back to the Waller Mark Andrews. That is a hard decision. I still would go with Waller because Derek Carr's throwing to him. And I think Derek Carr is going to have more passing yards than Baltimore's quarterback, the kid that's in for Lamar. If I don't know his name, how the fuck can you how can you take a guy that's, you know what I'm saying? Like, come on. Yeah, so probably leaning towards Waller. I didn't want to just lightly go over that question. That's an important question. Tony C. Jefferson, did you see Tony? I robbed myself. Did you see my Jefferson video? It's up to 15,000. It's up to 15,000. $100 on Jefferson to be the MVP pays $15,000 right now. Why am I the only one that sees it? Guys, once the 1 o'clock kickoff games go on, you can't get the bet in for season awards. So put fucking $1. Oh, damn. I said I wasn't going to curse. I didn't even make, how long am I on? 7 minutes. Sorry, guys. For Christmas, I was going to try not to curse. Well, I'll keep it clean. Jefferson, $100 pays $15,000. $1 pays $150. $10 pays $1,500. Wow. $20 pays 3 G's. That's crazy. Like, what if Justin Jefferson wins the game like that one-handed snatcher and goes for like a 220 burger and 3? And Mahomes loses today against a tough Seattle team in a bad weather game. And then, Allen and Burrow play each other. So remember this, guys. Buffalo and Cincinnati play like before the season's over, next week or the week after. I don't think Josh Allen's going to be the MVP, especially if he lays a stinker today in a weather game against the Bears. Jefferson's in the good weather today. He can maybe pick up a little traction. I just don't see Tyreek Hill making the impact that Jefferson has, even though the yards are close. Tyreek Hill's only like 100 yards behind. But what do we got here? Cousins, yeah. Cousins is tough. My mother's in the Final Four of her league, and she's riding with Cousins. She's got Lamar. He's still hurt, and she's got Deshaun Watson. Lamar was her quarterback all year, but then she went to Cousins on injury, and it just happened at the perfect time. The guy threw for 800 and something yards in the 2 games she started. So I was like, Ma, what would you do if Lamar comes back next week? She said she would start Cousins. I don't blame her. My mom's going through a Knox Waller thing. She's got Knox in there, and she's got Waller. That's tough. I think she's staying with Knox. These are hard. You don't know what's going to happen in these weather. Your limbs freeze up in this stuff. It's like the rain is different. I played in warmer rain games. I played in a game probably about single digits, maybe 11 degrees, 9 degrees, whatever it was. It's ferociously cold. It's freezing. Your limbs freeze. You can't feel yourself running. You can't run as fast. Things don't go well. When it's that cold, definitely windy. It's gonna be tough elements out there. We got to look at all these guys. Yeah, Kirk Cousins is like up and down. He's a wacky guy. If you ever see him on interviews, he's like he had his shirt off with the Flavor Flav chain on the plane. Like they have a lot of fun. Kirk Cousins is a wacky guy. I like him. He'll make you crazy being a Vikings fan. Oh my God, yeah, he'll make you crazy. I bet on them twice incorrectly this year out of their 3 losses. I liked Minnesota against the Eagles earlier in the year. They didn't do it. They haven't been doing it against the good teams. Lazard or Slayton, you know what? I think this whole Aaron Rodgers Zen shit is over tomorrow. I wasn't big on Miami really, but I think Green Bay is a phony team, a phony, like, good team. I don't like them right now, and I haven't seen anything that makes me, like, give them that respect. I think Miami could take them tomorrow, and I don't know I don't love Lazard. I like Slayton. It's gonna be warmer for Slayton than it is for Lazard. My uncle's in South Florida. There's going to be iguanas freezing out of trees tomorrow morning. Like when it's sub freezing in Florida, which is rare, the iguanas freeze, and they're like, "Don't touch the iguanas. They're frozen solid, and they can't move until they're unfrozen." My crazy cousin sends me a picture. He's got one on the golf course, and it's hanging. It was frozen. I was like, "Whoa, that guy's crazy." Cousin Brandon sends me a picture. He's holding the frozen iguana. I guess it was real cold. Brandon's a lot braver than me. You won't catch me holding a frozen iguana. My luck, that thing will wake up, bite my hand off. Oh, yeah. It's going to be cold. The moral of that story is sometimes I get sidetracked. The high tomorrow in South Florida at the Miami game is going to be 51. It's going to be in the 40s at some points during that game. And my experience when I'm down there and it's cold, it's always windy. So it might be a rough game down there. I like Miami. I like Mostert. Two is very sharp. Rodgers is having a tough time out there. I don't care. They're not winning. See, I'm talking myself into. Sometimes we talk this out, and I talk myself into the good ones, the good bets. That's why I did a round robin. I went with Detroit, $1 million to the table. They give you $1 million. They say so and so. You can't just take it. You got to wager it once. Are you going to put them in? But you can only bet the Detroit Carolina game. Are you going to take the Panthers? I'm not. Oh, Lions, please. I like the Lions. Lions look good. I like to acknowledge what I see, not this stupid shit. Oh, well, Sam Darnold has had a touchdown in each game he started. Jared Goff has a touchdown for breakfast on his way to the stadium. Have you guys watched Detroit's offense all year? They are humming. Detroit is humming. I gotta this is the playoffs for Detroit. They started the season scoring 30 something points and losing. They'd lost a lot of games where they were in the 30s. They've never been a terrible team on offense. Things were happening. You face other teams that are clicking. It's not always the defense's fault. It's hard to know where the other guy's going, get great schemes. That's why receivers are more valuable than ever because there's less air yards more often than ever. There's more 7 yards or less air yard passes in a game than ever before. They just want to get the ball to receivers in space off a scheme. I've seen Travis Kelce this year run a zero and over the middle. I've never seen that. I played receiver in college. No one's ever told me, Nooch, listen, line up over here on the right. Do a zero and a cross. Like I saw Travis Kelce line up and just cut to the other side without even taking one step upfield. And the defensive back was so caught off guard that they could not stay with Kelce on the cross. And Mahomes hit him, boom, gone. Like that's being really super creative. You got to really tip your hat to Andy Reid. Oh man, year round. You got some of the best ones year round. That's the question of the day. Kenneth Walker or Joe Mixon? Let's check the weather. Walker, we know, is in the weather game at KC. The spread is 10, and the weather's about the same. Let's see. I got that one here on the screenshot. The weather in KC is going to be cold. Let's see. Weather in KC at kickoff, -6 degrees, feels like. So that means it'll be like 7 degrees. It's going to be freezing. Kenneth Walker is a horse. Kenneth Walker is the number one fastest man in the NFL next gen. He's rested. Pete Carroll is so smart and wise. He needs his horses. Pete Carroll loves to run the rock anyway. This is a perfect game for him. I think Seattle plus the 10. I'm going with the Kansas City theory. They didn't cover against Denver 2 weeks ago. They didn't cover against the Texans last week. What am I going to do? Bet them to what? Cover? No. I'm staying with it. Staying with all the theories and trying to capitalize on it. Maybe paying attention, doing all this stuff, being so involved. Maybe I'm just catching trends. Maybe I deserve to get paid. Chiefs don't cover, and the spread's 10 again. If you guys watch this, you'll know what we say. When the spread goes north of 8-9 with the Chiefs, those guys don't cover. And the Texans, let's talk about them. The Texans, they're an underdog against Tennessee today. Jacksonville is breathing fire down Tennessee. Tennessee, they're going with a rookie quarterback. They're one game ahead of Jacksonville right now. They got a rookie going today and for the rest of the season, and they're trying to stave off the Jags. If Tennessee doesn't beat the Texans today, they got Dallas next week. They'll probably lose to Dallas. I'll give the edge to the Cowboys next week. And then in week 18, they got the Jags directly. Tennessee, if they get beat today, Jacksonville is the number 4 seed. That's amazing. Trevor Lawrence is hot. It's all clicked. You can see it. You got to go with the teams that are hot right now, I think. Henry should be able to run all over them. He should be. Derrick Henry is a load, and he doesn't look like he's slowing down at all. I like how Henry looks. I like how Saquon looks. I like how Dalvin Cook looks. I like how Chubb looks. Chubb's good to go. Kenneth Walker was rested and Chubb was rested. You gotta, guys, it's a lot when a guy's questionable or doubtful, maintenance is higher than ever. But in the NFL, the maintenance is during the week now. You can't teach a running back much now. Not much you could teach Nick Chubb so like a quarterback might need his reps, a wide receiver might need his reps. But Nick Chubb, like you can rest him. Kenneth Walker, rest him. Pete Carroll, look what he did with Marshawn Lynch, how he used to run Marshawn Lynch. Like this is like Pete Carroll knows running backs. And Kenneth Walker's a step above everybody else that's been there, even Rashard Penny. He's better than him too. So I was really impressed. And he's got an ankle injury that he's had since high school that he's monitoring. So Pete Carroll, if they breasted him, they probably had him in pool therapy, a little electronic stim. He's like a racehorse today. Oh, Ma. Oh, final answer. Final answer, Ma. That is tough. Waller or Knox. Oh, man. You know what? The Pittsburgh Raider game, this is going to surprise a lot of people. I like the Raiders tonight. I like the Raiders and Carr and those guys to make more plays. I think Carr is pretty headstrong. I think he'll be ready out there. And I don't know how Pittsburgh's going to execute in this type of weather. I would put my money on the Raiders tonight. So I do like Waller, but I can't go against that Buffalo offense. The offense that should be throwing to their tight end today. Somebody made it a good point. Could be a little art of deception. It's on the other side, Ma. Somebody made a good point that he should be a weapon today. It's going to be windy. They're in Chicago. And I agree. You can't just throw 30 yards outside of the hashes, 40, 50 downfield all day. It could be a game where you can't even do that, or only 2 quarters, depending on which way the wind's blowing. You don't know. So I think they got to use the tight end. They have to use Knox today. I think both tight ends have to be used. And I would go with Knox right now because I think Buffalo is the team that's stronger. So I would lean towards Knox. But Ma, if you want to go with Waller, you go with Waller because I'm not sure. Use your own mojo. But right now, I would hate to tell you to take Knox out after you bid a 40 burger on him in the Fab, which was crazy. Good one though, because he won you the game last week. But yeah, I'd probably stay with Knox. He had a monster game last week too. It's not like he showed you that he didn't do it. He goes up and down, but he started slow. He had a little injury to start the season. Waller just came back. Look how long it took Knox to catch on. It took Knox a few weeks to catch his form. Maybe Knox is really healthy now. Knox. Yeah, well, I like Waller too. I like Waller too because I took last week. I took Cleveland against Baltimore because I was like, who the hell is Baltimore right now without Lamar Jackson? They're ugly. At least Cleveland's got Deshaun Watson. They got Nick Chubb. They got Peoples Jones. They got Cooper. Like I saw things that I this time of year you got to be clicking on some level. That's why teams just can't get rid of the Giants. Daniel Jones. Everybody had so many questions about him. I didn't even know. I don't know, but he's proven himself. He's playing good, clean football, and he's making big plays. Everybody in the building knows who Saquon Barkley is. Nobody knows if Daniel Jones is going to beat you, but he's holding his own. He's keeping the Giants. That's why their record. That's the difference. That's why the Jets are near. The quarterback play is showing that it means a lot right now. The hot quarterbacks, Trevor Lawrence, he outplayed Zach Wilson. It was almost impossible for Jacksonville to win the other night. Jared Goff, the week before, that was a big play that they came up with on 4th and 1 to beat the Jets. I bet on them making a play because that's how he looks. Goff looks like a Pro Bowler this year. How do you go against the guy today that's playing the best ball of his life? Jared Goff looks great right now. I got to think that they're going to beat Carolina. That's how I feel. They're in the stew. They're in the round robin. I'll tell you that. What we got? Yeah, I think so. Evans or Higgins. That, you know what? I'm a big T. Higgins fan. Led the league in receiving the weeks that Jamar Chase was out. I looked that one up. That's a NOOCH gem for you. Led the NFL. I'll put the Italian curtains up. Led the NFL in receiving the 4 weeks that Jamar was out, or the 3 weeks. I was like, whoa. He's a tier 1 receiver. Mike Evans is on the other side of the mountain. He's capable. I like Tommy. Where's T? Where's T? Where is T today? Where is T? That's big. We cannot ignore weather, not once. We cannot ignore weather. Cincy at New England. Oof. Let me see that. Are they in the screenshot? There's 6 games that are in Field Yates' screenshot that I got over here. I think they're in there. Cincy at New England. Yeah, that's one of them. It's going to be very cold. But Joe Burrow don't give a shit. I got my money on the slinger. Joe Burrow's not worried about the cold. I like Joe Burrow. No, they're not in there. They're not in there. They're not. So maybe it's going to be a little warmer in New England. I doubt that. I think they just didn't list it on the screenshot that I got. I have to believe it's going to be freezing in New England tonight. I'd still go with T. Higgins. How could you not go with T. Higgins if he's healthy? He even did well last week. My mother benched him, and now he's playing. What's T. Higgins' projection this week? I'd like to see that. I got to check that out in the league. I like T. You like Bengals. You got to look for guys that aren't going to give up today in that weather. Who's it going to be tough for? I think it's going to be better for Atlanta than people think. I'll get to that in a minute. Let me see Higgins. T. Higgins. Last week, 5 for 33 and a touchdown, 8 targets. That's nothing. 3 for 35. T. Higgins is due. He had 7 for 114 before that, week 12. 9 for 148. I mean, we know what he could do, but it's time to do it now, T. It's time. At New England, cold weather game. What is the forecast in New England, boys? Somebody dropped me the weather. I can't believe it wasn't on there. It's got to be feels like -0. That's got to be in there. We're not stupid here. It's freezing here in Jersey. In Foxborough, it's got to be, Chicago, rough game today out there. I don't think the Bills are covering. Guys, remember a month ago when we heard all that stuff about Josh Allen, the UCL, they're managing it. It doesn't just go away. I'm curious to see if he could cut through on that fastball in Chicago today. It's going to be a tough test. I like Fields a lot today because of his size and strength to go against all this stuff, the elements. So I think the Bears are going to compete. I like taking the points there too. I like taking the points. Now, spreads that jump out at me. First of all, the running backs. What about the KC running backs in that same game with Kenneth Walker? Pacheco and McKinnon, they're hot. The running backs are hot. I think all 3 of those running backs are going to have yards today. The cold is rough. Sometimes you could run more. You'll have 200-yard games in the cold by running backs. Yeah, it gets crazy. That's what it's going to get crazy. We're going to see cold weather, high scoring games. I wouldn't be surprised if there's stats all over that KC Seattle game. Be careful benching guys. We got to really look at this. Isn't Adams playing tonight? Adams is playing tonight in the Hall of Fame, that Holiday Classic. Devontae's playing tonight. I think he does have a good game. I see them having more. I see them having more than. Why does everybody like Pittsburgh? I don't think Pittsburgh should be the favorite tonight. Who's starting at quarterback? Is Pickett back? That's big. Kenny Pickett, concussion, will play in Week 16. He's coming off a concussion. Kenny Pickett, the rookie, coming off a concussion in an ice ball against Carr, Adams. The Raiders play everybody tough. They lost to the Chiefs a couple months ago, I remember. They were up 14. They lost the game by six. I was taking 8. I won. The Raiders play everyone tough. The Raiders only lose heartbreakers. So I kind of like the Raiders because the Chiefs, the Steelers they're not that good. Steelers are going to struggle to have success. Najee, not doing it for me. 3 yards in a cloud of dust. We'll call him 3 yards in a snow flurry. Najee. I don't see Pittsburgh doing much. That game will be 16-9 Raiders. What do we got here? Lizard. When I bench Gabe Davis for Goodwin on Seattle, since Lockett is out, man, you know what? The Buffalo is like a high-powered rifle. It can go off. It can do damage at any time. Major damage at any time. 0 to 100. Gabe Davis is always a live roll of the dice. You could have nothing, and then you could have an 80-yard catch by Gabe Davis. Josh Allen likes him. We know that. Geno in the cold to Goodwin. I don't know. I don't know, man. That's a tough one to gauge. I would probably still go with Gabe Davis, even though hasn't been a monster this year. He's been a little bit of a letdown to a lot of people. That's tough. I would probably lean Gabe Davis. Right now. Got a little while. We got some time looking at updates. It's tough. Gabe Davis is a rough guy to gauge. I had a guy inbox me, Gabe Davis is dead to me. Like, Gabe Davis has lost some guys' games this year. If you're still going through Gabe Davis, you got him at the right time. I think my mother has Gabe. Does my mother have Gabe Davis? She might. No, she doesn't. I had him in that league. I'm out. Herbert screwed a lot of people last week. He's going to be a great quarterback once Fishface gets fired. I hate that fucking coach. I don't like that guy. Herbert hurt me last week. 300-plus yards and 0 touchdowns. Hurt. Oh, the Herbert stake through the heart. Oh, Herbert. I love me some Herbert, but he got me. Oh, he was the reason I lost last week. I got a dud from Herbert. I got an empty 300-plus. Oh. Happy Saturday. Merry Christmas Eve. Definitely. Goodwin is a decent play. I wouldn't be like, oh, I wouldn't go Goodwin. That's why, I don't bullshit. I see the upside of Gabe Davis, and I can see Goodwin filling in. And he has filled in admirably a little bit. I've seen good things from him. I could see, you could see that he's got a shot for a decent game. Who else again? They got tight ends. They got 2 good tight ends. They got Noah Fant and Disley, both healthy, I believe. DK. He better play good today, DK. He's the biggest guy on the field. He better no sleeve DK today. Does DK have sleeves? That's the NOOCH line right now. Does DK Metcalf come out with sleeves today? I'm saying no. minus 125. Yes, minus 105. I'm robbing both sides, so I get paid. Yeah, they're both favorite. I wouldn't be surprised if he had no sleeves because he's DK Metcalf. He better not have sleeves, but I wouldn't be surprised if he had sleeves because he's human and it's freezing. Does DK have sleeves? The slight favorite says no. I'm going to say no. Who's a guy today in one of the Icicle Bowls that you guys say will not have sleeves? And I'll remember it. Let's play a game. Let's have some fun. Or unless the majority of them have no sleeves, well, it's going to be freezing in Chicago, Buffalo. Let's zone in. Does Josh Allen come out with sleeves? Absolutely. He's a sleeve guy. He needs to be warm. He's the quarterback. The arm's got to stay warm. You got to be an idiot not to wear sleeves. You got to be stupid. So Josh Allen's going to have sleeves. Diggs, I'm saying sleeves. I would. NOOCH, sleeves. Yeah. I'm not trying to prove a point. I'm not trying to prove no points. I prove my points when the whistle starts. That's when I play. I'm not trying to play head games with anybody. I'm not running out shirtless before the game. I remember my Thanksgiving game. Junior year. It was a cold front like this, but in the end of November instead of December. It was freezing. And I had the wife beater, I had the turtleneck before Under Armour was even invented. I had the turtleneck, the thermal. Big O, are you in here? Oscar played against me. He was on the field that day. Oh, was that cold? The field was frozen before the game. We had to change our cleats. You couldn't pay me to go through that again right now. Oh. The cold is rough to play in. Way harder than the rain. Way harder. Not even close. Not even close. Freezing of the limbs. Can't feel yourself. Well, I stayed warm. My father, like, make sure you keep jogging in place. Stay warm. Keep yourself warm. I stayed warm. I stayed pretty warm. I never stopped bouncing. I bounced all game. On the sidelines, I was bouncing like Ali in the corner. I just stayed bouncing because it was that cold. Hey, I had a couple tutties too, huh? Bounced in the end zone. Oh, hey, how you doing? Tony Pollard. How about that one? Well, how about that one in Big D? Pro Bowler Tony Pollard. When you say Tony Pollard's name now, you got to say Pro Bowler Tony Pollard. Tony, I get half the work and do double the production of the guys you're giving all the money to. Pollard. Zeke didn't make the Pro Bowl, and of course he shouldn't. Why should he? Tony Pollard got named to the Pro Bowl. You know how many good players got snubbed from the Pro Bowl this year? A lot. What do we got here? Oh, good thing you had a bye. Good thing you had a bye. Herbert's a great quarterback. I'm expecting 3 from Herbert next when he gets on the field again. I'm not surprised when Herbert goes for 4 touchdowns and 3. I'm like, yeah, that's why I drafted him. But until next year. Justin Fields or Kirk Cousins. Oh man. Oh goodness. Well, here's why I would. Fields is. Let me tell you something. I did a 10-minute preach last week on Fields, but I don't know if I could say to start Fields today in the windy city of Chicago in an ice ball over Kirk in the 70-degree Minnesota dome. The dome. They're in shelter. That team, they're funny. Kirk's a funny guy. Kirk Cousins has thrown for 875 yards the last 2 games. Got to go with Kirk. Tread lightly, but Kirk. Richie's in the room. Richie, Merry Christmas, buddy. Richie. all right, buddy. We'll be here. What do you got? Flex dilemma. Oh, Ayuk. I like him, but he could burn you. Cooper is playing legit. It's one of the weather games. We got Cleveland's tough though. Cooper's tough. Pickens, big physical guy. That's going to be a rough game tonight. They might have about 74 yards passing in that game tonight. I'm predicting I'm predicting the Steelers have under 150 yards passing tonight. Definite. So I would get Pickens off the field, Rich. Foreman, now he burned us. I always remember good and bad. Foreman burned a lot of people last week, including me. However, Detroit and Carolina is supposed to be a good game. Detroit's only 2.5-point favorite. Down in Carolina, he should get a heavy load. He should get a dose today. I like Foreman a lot. Jared Cook. If you're going to go with one of those four, man, I would take Cook out because Buffalo doesn't run. You know what? I would probably go with Amari Cooper. Too many times I badmouth that guy this year, and then it's quarter after one, a lot like Thielen years ago, and this guy's in the end zone or making a catch. Amari Cooper's played really good this year, and they need him. He's going to make a couple big catches. You're not going to get big scores today in fantasy. You should look for 5 for 60 today. Who's going to give me 5 for 60? Coop. Foreman. He's not a big receiver. He's got to get those rushing yards. I don't know if he's going to get them. I'm not sold on the whole Carolina machine. They're barely going to, they're not a tough team. I don't like these rat teams. I don't like them. I'll leave story time for the end. I got a couple good ones. It's going to be a ground game in Chicago. But Buffalo, it's like, I think it's too late for them to just come in a game and run all over somebody. It's just not who they are. They got to force themselves to run. I see Knox more of a factor, I think. I know Allen's going to be running and Fields is going to be running. There's no way with this wind these quarterbacks are going to be running. Fields is the ballsy play. Back to that Fields Cousins. Oh man, that is hard to talk. That's hard to judge. Fields is the let's roll the dice. Cousins is the one that is right in front of you. It's hard to bench him. It's harder for me to bench Cousins. I can bench Fields and give myself like an excuse or a reason, depending on which way it works out. If it works out in your favor, it's your reason. If it didn't, it's your excuse. Like, hey man, it was cold. I didn't know. You need mojo at this time of year too, guys. Like we all know this. Like this is the fun of it. You can have the greatest team ever and lose. You need a little luck. Once upon a time, I tell this story once a year. I went 13-0. I had Adrian Peterson at the peak of his powers. He was the greatest running back in the NFL. And I happened to draft a guy named Chris Johnson on the comeback that year when he ran for 2,000 yards. I went 13-0. I had a bye. I was sitting pretty. First round, out. I didn't even make the Super Bowl. Out. Everybody had a dud. I would like to look up Chris Johnson and Adrian Peterson's stats in week, I guess it was 15 of 2007. Wow. Somebody's got to go stat check their stats in the semis in 07. They were shit, dog shit. CJ2K and the greatest running back ever. I'm at NOOCH eliminated. I felt like I 13-0. You don't expect to lose the first round after a bye. Giants 8-2-1 in one possession games. Every game's a one possession game. Are you guys catching on? Are you guys seeing what I'm seeing? How many times at the witching hour at the red zone have you seen the whole board 7 or less? Got to go with the points today in the stew, boys. Got to go with the points. Got to go with the points in the stew. We got to do. I'm gonna do a couple teasers. I think I talked myself into a few. I like to talk myself into a couple too. I don't unload the whole shebanger. I bet so small, but it's fun. Last week I had like $46 and I hit everything. So it got crazy. I am on a heater. Guys, I'm currently on a heater. I just want to tell you. Just like when I'm blind and I can't see and I'm picking everything wrong, and I tell you, right now is like heat check time for me. I am on a heater. Yes, big time heater. I even got a super duper ridiculous parlay in case I'm that hot in case it happens. HD2. Hey guys, neighborhood picks. Like, subscribe, share. What do we got here? Fields in the cold versus the Bills. He's big, strong, and he is top 10 next gen fastest. They got every player tracked right now. This man is a different dude. He's a one of one. So we don't want to discount him. Cousins indoors looks a little better. It's like you have a good problem. I like both of them. If there's anybody outdoors today that I like to make shit happen, it's the dude who's the strongest and fastest. That's Fields that plays quarterback. And he's he's dangerous every way, but I don't know what's going to happen with the passing game. But I expect him on his horse. He takes a pounding. Now Cousins, he gets you yards that you can expect more. Win or lose, he's going to give you yards. Like Kirk Cousins threw for 400 plus last week, 400 plus the week before. It feels good going back to that well. You can't go wrong with Kirk. So I think I would go with Kirk Cousins today indoors. There's a handful of games in nice weather. Even the Florida game is going to be cold. Icicles, iguanas falling out of trees in Florida tomorrow morning. It's going to be freezing in the morning, and it's only going to be up in the 40s, maybe 50, 51 high. A lot of bad weather games. Gotta like the Giants indoors. I like KJ Osborne today. I've seen KJ Osborne on waivers in 10-man leagues, and I don't know if he's on waivers, but I like Osborne today indoors. Kind of saw a transition with him. Did you guys notice? I got a chance to watch the second half. I didn't even really get in front of the TVs until halftime. It was 33 nothing. When I watched that second half, I couldn't believe how much they were going to Osborne. I didn't watch the first half, guys, but every time I was hoping I had Jefferson. I had one kamikaze league where I had Jefferson and Thielen, and I had Jefferson already put a couple big plays in the bank, and I was hoping for them to go to Thielen, and they kept going to Osborne, and it stuck in my mind. It stuck in my mind. You got to take a serious look at him. He might be morphing into the number two. Remember last year when Gabe Davis morphed into the clear cut number two, like 19 weeks into the season over Emmanuel Sanders. In the beginning of the year, it was Emmanuel Sanders. Then it became Gabe Davis. It was always Diggs. That's kind of what I'm seeing in Minnesota. It was Thielen. He had a great run. He used to be quarter after one. He was the man. Great player. He's getting a little older, and he's still useful. But, I see them going to Osborne more often than I've ever seen, especially last week. And I've seen big plays from Osborne. Not all the time. I saw him go off his route last week. I've seen him make mistakes, but he's definitely in the plans. So I'd like rolling the dice on Osborne this week. What do we got, Jack? Oh man. You know what? I'm a Deion Jackson supporter. Had him about a month and a half ago. Feels like had Deion Jackson put up like a 32 burger for me. Where's Deion? Where's Deion playing? In Indianapolis. I believe that's shelter, dome, getting screen passes from the quarterback who doesn't want to get fogged up. I didn't curse. I changed the word. You know that quarterback. Who's going in now? Nick Foles. Nick Foles. I know he comes back all the time and plays Superman, but he's no dummy. Check downs. Deion Jackson will be there. I like Deion Jackson a lot. I really do. Zach Moss, not as much as Deion. I saw something when he did get his playing time that stuck with me a little bit more. And there's certain teams that I just don't have faith. There's certain teams that will abandon the run. They'll just abandon it. Neighborhood picks, guys. Like, subscribe, share. We do this all the time on the weekends. Fantasy semifinals right now. We got weather games. Let's go over them. Let's review them. Let's revisit this, guys. I'm trying to stay calm because I'm going out longer. I don't want to be dizzy when I go off because I get amped up. You guys know I get a little amped up on a Sunday morning. We're early this week. CMC. How about Christian McCaffrey? Let's talk about Christian McCaffrey for a second, guys. He looks like he's got the juice that he had when he was early Carolina, when he was doing like superhuman things, like Roger Craig type shit. For those of you young bucks who don't know Roger Craig, he's the first guy to ever run for 1,000 and catch for 1,000. He was in Bill Walsh's West Coast offense with Joe Montana on the 49ers. Roger Craig used to run with such high knees that tacklers would go unconscious from his knees. He did the Masvidal to Ben Askren to the tackler every time they tried to tackle him. Nobody ever ran with knees higher than Roger Craig. I could still picture him running when I was a kid. I love Roger Craig. Poof, Roger Craig. I got a beautiful trivia question. My friends are bitching out. Guys, smash that like button. Subscribe. You know what to do. Let's go. Let's get the algorithms in the right place. All that shit. I got super trivia questions. Would you guys have known that the first guy to ever rush for 1,000 and catch 1,000 was Roger Craig? I'm giving away a couple, but I knew that one. I knew that one. I didn't need this trivia idea to give me that one. I knew that one. That's what I'm looking at. I like records. I love records. I like the record books. Now we're in our second season of records. And we got 2 that could go down. Mahomes is on pace to maybe break the passers. Peyton Manning, 16 games. All right. And then you got Jefferson, who's on pace to maybe break Megatron, 1981. Then you got that 2000 number, extra game. All right. But hey, like nobody said anything when the 2,000 yards went for the rushing. O.J. Simpson, my dad told me on the way down here, he goes, don't forget, John. He goes, O.J. Simpson rushed for 2,000 yards in a 14-game season. He did it on the last day in week 14. I don't even know if there was buys back then. So that's amazing. And so the records are made to be broken, guys. And 2,000 yards was always a big deal when I was a kid, and it was already 16-game seasons. Barry Sanders went for 2 Gs. Terrell Davis went for 2 Gs. I don't know if Eric Dickerson's got the record, so he went for 2 Gs. Who else went for 2 Gs? Jamal Lewis on Baltimore went for 2 Gs. Derrick Henry, did he go for 2 Gs? Did Derrick Henry go for 2,000? Or was he on pace for it and missed it? I'm trying to think. Records are made to be broken. That's why, guys, we know we need a perfect storm of things to happen. But why can't it happen, Rich? Why can't it happen? Let's talk. Let's talk turkey. When I saw Justin Jefferson MVP, $100 pays $15,000. Holy shit. Okay, Jalen Hurts was the favorite last week. He's already down because he got hurt. Patrick Mahomes is playing in an ice bowl today against Seattle. They could lose. What if Mahomes has a bad day? Okay? Bad day, Mahomes. Burrow is playing at New England. Freezing. You never know. Allen playing at the Bears. Freezing. You never know. Jefferson. Ooh. Cozy Minnesota. What if Jefferson goes for 200 and something yards today and destroys it? Neighborhood picks, like, subscribe. Justin Jefferson, $100, $15,000. What if Justin Jefferson destroys it in the temperature, climate controlled Minnesota Dome today, and these other guys all struggle? Then is it going to be plus 15,000 next week? I gotta take a shot on that. I had to. I even got Mel from Florida. Oh, is that? Oh shit! I hope I'm not breaking any laws. No, I put it in for him. Yeah. What are we talking about? You know what I'm saying? They just suspended the Jets wide receiver Miles Austin from New Jersey. Miles Austin, Garfield High School. Shout out to Northern New Jersey athletes. We are the Bermuda Triangle. We're the best athletes around. Everybody knows it's tri-state area, Florida, Texas. That's where all the best dudes are at. It's called the Bermuda Triangle for recruiters. When I was into coaching, everybody was recruiting from tri-state area, Florida, Texas. I don't know what's in the water by us. I don't know. Miles Austin got suspended for gambling, but he's appealing it because I heard he was betting on basketball games. He's a 35-year-old guy. He can't bet a couple shackles on the Knicks when he's laying in his hotel suite waiting for the fucking meeting the next day. You know how much hours coaches put in? Like, that's where I got to draw the line a little bit here. That's where I got to draw the line. Miles Austin. I'm older than Miles Austin. I remember him when he graduated high school and he went to, I think he went to a 1AA. He's from Garfield, and then he played on Dallas. He was one of Romo's surprise receivers. He was the Victor Cruz of Dallas. I'm gonna give you a little history lesson with Uncle Nooch. Buckle up, kids. Buckle up. Put your fucking baby food away. Excuse me. Buckle up. Neighborhood Picks. Like and subscribe. Miles Austin, the guy who just got pinched for gambling and got suspended indefinitely and wasn't allowed to coach Thursday night. He's from about 6 miles away from where I'm from, Clifton, New Jersey. He was tearing shit up in high school. I think he went 1AA, and then all of a sudden he made the Dallas Cowboys. And it was when Romo was the quarterback. Might have been Terrell Owens as well. Might have been the TO days, not sure. And Miles Austin started tearing shit up. And he had a little run with the Cowboys for a couple seasons. And he was a decent player, this nice receiver. And I'd rate him a little bit under Cruz when Cruz had his prime. Because Cruz hit like a rocket, and then he tore his patella tendon. The NOOCH had that injury. It's a tough one to come back from, and he never was the same. And now he's doing good things, I see. So that's good for him. But Victor Cruz he came on strong. We never got to see Cruz Beckham because health never allowed it. Just like we never got to see Beckham Barkley. Giants fans were almost on the tip of the iceberg of like fun damn teams. For Giants fans, we missed it twice. We missed the wave twice in the past decade. Giants fans, we had Victor Cruz. He came out. He's doing the salsa. Where'd this kid come from? Another guy from my neighborhood. Patterson, New Jersey. Victor Cruz. Another guy. There's something in the water by us. I played 3 teams in my high school schedule. I had 3 teams. Two were ranked nationally. Bergen Catholic was ranked nationally. Montclair and David Tyree were ranked nationally. And Don Bosco Prep got in the national ranks my senior year. My junior year, they weren't as good yet. They were just becoming great. Nationally, tough teams up there, boy. Tough teams. Woo, good athletes. Victor Cruz was up there. We missed that wave. Victor Cruz went to UMass, 1AA out of Patterson Catholic. And when he came on the Giants, it was like, whoa, he was real good. Real good. He had an explosion game in the preseason against the Jets. Tremendous. And then we got Beckham, and then Cruz got hurt. Very short into them being together. Victor Cruz, you ever want to see Victor Cruz's best game? I'll tell you his real best game as a Giants fan. In the playoffs at San Francisco. During their Super Bowl run. I think it was 2011. When they went to San Francisco, the Niners had a team much like the Niners have right now. Tough. Jim Harbaugh was coaching them. Tough team. Relentless. And Victor Cruz made like 11 or 12 ridiculous, tough catches in the slot, in the trenches, diving. Victor Cruz helped us win that game as much as anyone else on the field that day on that Super Bowl run. That's what I remember most about Victor Cruz. It was that was the best. That was his pinnacle of his career, which is a pretty awesome moment. He went at San Francisco, tore their ass up, just like Plaxico tore up. That guy from Green Bay tore his ass up. Brett Favre was freezing his old ass off. I was telling my buddy this morning. I'll never forget the 2007 Giants playoff run. Brett, I will never forget it. That's when a personality like Eli Manning comes in and you love him. Eli, it was so freezing. Tom Coughlin's face froze during the game. He turned into an ice fisherman from Alaska. Tom Coughlin, he got red and then he got super white. Like I couldn't tell his eyebrows from his face, from his pigment, all turned the same. He looked like he got hit with a fucking icicle. Excuse my language. Ooh, Coughlin looked like he got hit with an icicle. And Brett Favre was like this. They panned over to Brett Favre, and Favre was like this. It was the NFC Championship game at Lambeau, and Favre's like this with the super big duper coat, and Eli's like this, warming up, not even thinking about the weather. Eli found Plaxico Burress so many times. I think it was Al Harris, all-pro corner. They torched Al Harris that day. That's when 6'5" Plaxico really came into play. When it was time to throw those button hooks in the wind, in the freezing, those button hooks. I just named the 1940s route. That's a hook. uh, and in, like Plaxico body turned right over Al Harris. Look for big receivers today. Look for DK today. Look for DK Metcalf. Neighborhood Picks, like and subscribe. We're rocking right now. We're rocking already. We're fully into the day. Fully into the day. Christmas Eve. Christmas Eve. Fuck the Jets. No. I'm just kidding. The Jets. I knew they would lose the other day. I'm joking a little bit. I curse a little bit. I know there's women and children out there that might see this. Try not to curse too much. Oh man, playoff race. Dolphins hanging on to that 60, but I do like them to beat the Packers tomorrow. I think Green Bay's a fugazi team. None of that RELAX shit. Not this year. Not this year, Aaron. He's gonna be doing mushrooms on a fucking kayak somewhere in about 3 weeks. Where do I say? I didn't even know I was gonna say that. I don't want to offend anybody. Oh man, yeah, Aaron Rodgers. They're not going nowhere this year. Sorry, buddy. No, it's not happening. I don't see it. Do you guys see it with Green Bay? Do you see it? I'm not seeing it. Let's talk to. I want to hear your guys' feedback. Fame Tiger. I love that name. I got you. Let me get back to work. I'm ADD a little bit. You know what I'm saying? But I get a lot of crazy ideas. Oh, okay. Here we go. Running backs are Connor and Henry. Okay, all right. I don't like. My friends, my close friends know this. I don't like puke teams. I don't like puke. Yeah, it's like throw up. I don't like puke teams at the end of the year. Arizona's on their third string quarterback, which makes you think they're going to run the ball. But where are they running? Into the ground? I don't know. Connor's done decent. I've seen him put up points against me in the last month. So he's not bad, but I go Henry. They better run Henry 45 times today. You got a rookie quarterback. You can't make the game too crazy. That's the play caller's job. They better use Henry. Henry better get 30 touches today. This is where Henry earns his money. Henry, strong play today. Strong play, Fame Tiger. Strong play. Neighborhood Picks. Like, subscribe. Strong. Yeah, I like Henry. Definitely. What else we got here? 2 wide receivers and a flex in PPR. Wait, let me read the whole thing. So you got to go Henry. Keenan Allen, McLaurin, Hopkins. Me and my buddy, the guy that helps me with this show. We're on opposite sides. I don't like Hopkins today. Who the hell is throwing to him? I can't even tell you because I didn't even deem it necessary. It's almost like irrelevant to me. Who the hell is out in Arizona? I think Tommy's going to torch him today. This is when you go back to Brady. He's one of the only good weather games. This is when you go back to the Tommy well. Somebody dropped Brady in your league, disgusted with Brady, go get him now. Sit those cold weather dudes. Go grab Tommy. Tommy's going to put up 300 good yards or empty tomorrow. He's going to throw 51 times. And I think after playing San Fran 2 weeks ago and last week getting beat by the Bengals, I think it'll be a pleasure to go up against Arizona tomorrow. I think it'll be a pleasure. Tommy's seen that before. I think Tommy's going to play well tomorrow. He's not hurt. The more you see shit, he just went against fast defenses. I like Purdy today too. Jerick McKinnon. I love the Chiefs backs. How could you sit McKinnon? He's the hottest back in football over the past 2 weeks. I love McKinnon. My mom is on a run. She's in the Final Four. I'm out. She was the 12th person in off a cancellation, and she's going for the Super Bowl today. She's got McKinnon and Saquon. Imagine that. Go rock on, Mom. I'm rooting for you today. That's why I'm getting off about 12:30 today because I'm rooting for you. I'm rooting for. I'm on a bye in Carmelo's league, and I'm out in my town leagues. Oh, it's gonna hurt me to give that NOOCH party trophy up. Oh, it's gonna hurt. I got the NOOCH party trophy. I got a beautiful. Oh, and I got my name on the first plaque. I was like, let me get a super. I was gonna get a belt, but I was like, nah. I saw this trophy, And I won last year, so I'm like, I'll hold it for the whole year. Well, it's about to come now. I put it off like 30 times, but I got it. And I'm the first champion on there. This champion. And I'm presenting it to the next champion. I'm already out of that league. But we got 12 slots for 12 years. And I recommend everybody does that. We should do that for the other leagues that I'm in too. It's pretty cool. You just put the tag on it for each year, and it's like a silver and gold, like football. It's heavy, it's big. You feel like you won the Lombardi Trophy. Who am I giving it to? Who am I giving it to? We got Oh, you guys got lucky too. The Richardson brothers are like fucking leprechauns. They're just stepping in shit all over. Little baby bro planted in the league that I didn't even know about. Their baby brother that I didn't even know existed on earth beat me last week in the other league. And these two brothers finished 1-2 in this league. And the top seeds lost in the opening round. They're playing 5 and 6 on opposite ends of the bracket. We got Boniface and Dunny, if I'm correct, right? Boniface and Dunny. And oh my goodness. Oh, this is crazy. Oh man. McKinnon or Mixon? That is hard. That is so hard. That is so hard. That's a tough question, Tech. That's a tough question. You know what? My other buddy was asking me Mixon or Walker, which is equally as tough. You got something called a good headache. It's tough because I can see McKinnon putting up 20 something, and I can see Mixon putting up 20 something. Oh, that's hard. You know what? Belichick knows the keys to the game. If you can't stop Mixon in an ice bowl, you don't have a shot. I think the Patriots are going to do a little bit to contain Mixon. McKinnon is a pass catching back. They're going to have to throw the ball to the backs in short space. I think today's a great day for 5 yards and under air yards. Let's throw 5 buzzers to McKinnon and see what he can make out of it, and screens and shit like that. So I like McKinnon over Mixon today. I don't see them putting Mixon out on screens the way Andy Reid might be creative with McKinnon. Think about that, right? Don't worry, T-Rich. I got it. I got it. I got it, T-Rich. Sometimes when I'm rolling with a little story, I keep it going. You know what I mean? I got it. The answer is McKinnon, I think, over Mixon, fantasy-wise. Mixon is a tremendous football player, and I'd have to give him the slight edge as a football player. But McKinnon's hot as a pistol. He's not even really the number one back. That's Pacheco as far as ball carrier, but he can run the ball and he can catch. And who's the MVP of the fantasy football season? If you could only pick one guy right now, guys, it's Austin Eckler. By a nose. Austin Eckler. You can name a lot of guys, but if you got Austin Eckler and you're out, you got hit with the bad luck stick this year. It's not your fault. It's not your fault. Is anybody out with Austin Eckler? I would have to say, if you got Eckler, you got a pretty good chance of being in. I would have to say 88%. If you have Austin Eckler, the chances of you being in is probably like 75% or better. That guy's putting up monster numbers this year. And I like Saquon right now. Every time I get on Saquon's bandwagon, he got a little dinged up. He looked healthy against Washington, boy. Ooh, I hope they didn't let him ram his shoulder once this week in practice. We don't have to find out if Saquon's tough. We don't need to. I don't think they're rah-rah, these guys. I don't need to find out, no. We know what Saquon is. I hope he didn't do one shoulder ram this week. And I hope he's ready to rock and roll today. Saquon, everybody in the building knows he's coming. Everybody in the building knows Saquon's coming. But you know what they don't? You know what they don't know? That Daniel Jones is going to beat you too. Daniel Jones is playing good football. He just is. I can see Minnesota making mistakes today because I'm just thinking about the first half of the Colts. Talk about a tale of two halves. We're judging a team that just played the craziest game ever. From the math. How could you do that? We got to stay away from that as far as serious stuff. Don't bet any big scuttle on the Vikings-Giants game, guys. Neighborhood picks, guys. Like, subscribe, please. Don't put the mortgage on the Vikings-Giants game, whatever we do. Let's not do that. The Vikings are a kamikaze team. And the Giants They came back on Tennessee this year, came back on Green Bay, came back on Baltimore. They're crazy. Dallas beat them twice. Philly beat them once. They got to play them again. The Giants are a wacky team. We could lose to the Colts next week. Giants could get beat by the Colts. I don't feel comfortable with the Giants. I'm happy we're repeating these teams, though. If the Giants go to the playoffs, unless they play San Francisco or Tommy Boy, they're probably going to play somebody that they already played. Dallas, Philly, Washington there, Minnesota now. I like seeing a team more. It makes the underdog have a better chance. When the Giants won the 2007 Super Bowl, they played the last game of the season against New England when Randy Moss and Brady were going for the records. Randy Moss got it on a bomber, but the Giants played them very tough. And after that, they were like confident. And then that's when they went on that crazy run. They went and beat Dallas at Dallas. They beat Green Bay at Lambeau, and then they beat the 18-0 Patriots. I've seen the craziest shit ever happen. So you can't rule anything out. So it doesn't pay to lay points in stupid games with shit teams. Guys, Baltimore, Lamar's on the bench. Lamar's on the bench. Have you guys seen Tyler Algier run the last 2 to 3 weeks? Has anybody seen him run and take a mental note, or is it just me? He looks like Bus Bettis. Tyler Algier looks extra strong. And we know what Cordell Patterson's been when he's healthy. So they're going to run the hell out of the ball. They're in one of the weather games, Atlanta. And who's Baltimore got? J.K. Dobbins, who's a good running back. But each team is so even. And in Atlanta, I just named 2 backs. I don't think the other back is as good as, I don't know. I kind of like Atlanta today, plus a 6.5. Do you guys like Atlanta plus 6.5 against them? I do. Atlanta plus 6.5 over Baltimore. I'm talking myself into that. What do we got here? Taysom Hill or Darren Waller? Oh, man. Darren Waller. Definitely Darren Waller. He came back, got right in the end zone. They need their tight end just like Buffalo needs their tight end. They're in the cold. You're not going to be throwing 35 and outs today. You're going to be throwing short air yard balls. And the tight end factors into all that stuff. The tight end, definitely. Knox he was questionable in the beginning of the season. He was hurt. He had a family tragedy. He came out slow, but he's been coming on. And Taysom Hill, they're up and down. Puke team, the Saints. I would go with the better team. I would go with Waller. I would definitely go with Waller. He's a talented guy. He's back. He's back. He's got in the end zone already. Carr's going to be throwing to him. It's in the cold. They're going to run Jacobs. They're going to throw to Waller. They're going to be throwing screens. Hopefully a couple go to Waller. They don't just throw screens to the outside receiver only. They'll throw a screen to the tight end. The Kelsey gets screens. You got to remember all that stuff. PPR. We want guys that are going to gobble up some catches. I see a lot of short air yards today. So Waller's one of the Raiders playmakers. How could they not get him the ball 5 times in short air yard stuff? If he catches 2 balls downfield today, that's a lot. If Darren Waller catches 2 balls for 45 yards downfield, that's a lot to me. I'm expecting him to catch 4 or 5 within the 7-yard range. Whatever he does with it, he does with it. But I'm expecting Waller to get 5 catches today. I would have to bet on him to get 5. Guys, neighborhood pick, like, subscribe. What's Darren Waller's over-under on catches? I'd probably go over on him, take a shot on the tight ends. Let's take a shot on Knox over. Let's take a shot on Waller over. I like the tight ends in the cold theory. CBJ 2007. That's a rough name for me to look at. I know you. I don't know if you were in the room. 13-0 in fantasy that year. The NOOCH, CBJ, and Adrian Peterson lost in the first round after my bye. Never even saw the Super Bowl. Rough one. Falcons are starting a rookie quarterback who's struggling. Yeah, and I didn't see anybody blow my doors off in the Baltimore-Cleveland game on Baltimore last week. Didn't they lose? People are just giving Baltimore this automatic pass. They stunk in their wins. They stunk last week against Cleveland and lost. They were the favorite. They lost. Now they're 6.5-point favorite again. What do you think? I think they're going to do lose, at least not cover. That's my logic on that. They've been underperforming all year and getting away with it. Right? Come on. Baltimore hasn't looked like any championship caliber team. They've been playing ugly games, winning ugly, And sometimes you do that. I know the 2000 Ravens did it, but different, a little bit different. Oh, that's tough, Jared. Neighborhood picks, like, subscribe. That's tough. Walker is one of my favorite backs. He's fully rested and he's a full go. Swift, good player, nice player, often hurt, but they're hot and they're in Carolina. Elliott, I would not touch him with a 10-foot pole. I don't like him. I don't like how he looks. How many do you need? One? Oh, that's tough. I like Kenneth Walker the best. You got to take a strong look at Swift. I would not start Zeke over either one of those guys. Hopefully, I narrow it down for you. Kenneth Walker's a nice player. Swift is in better weather, but they also use Jamal Williams at the goal line. Walker is the main horse by a wider margin to me in his backfield than Swift is, because Jamal Williams is so prevalent. The other guys, Homer and all those guys, they're not prevalent like Jamal Williams has been this year. So you got to take that into account. That's why I'm going with Kenneth Walker. Year round. Brandon Cooks. I can't believe he's still around. He's been getting drafted and putting up fantasy wins for guys for about at least 8 to 9 seasons. He's been around for a long time. Not the best, but so fast, there's always a spot for him. Somebody's always putting him in, and he's always got a chance to burn you. Lazard. I like Lazard. Well, who's throwing a Cooks? Who's throwing a Cooks? We got to count quarterback play. Got it right now, leaning Lazard. I just don't know. I like Cooks a little, but I gotta think Rodgers is going to be on point going down in Miami. I think Miami will edge them out, but I would be surprised if Lazard doesn't have a couple big plays. I think you can go. I like them both, but I don't love either one of them. That's tough. I don't like either one much. It's hard. Cooks, crummy team. And Lazard is on a crummy team that's going to be recognized as a crummy team after tomorrow, because I'm not in love with the Packers. I'm not in love with the Dolphins, but they'll hang on tomorrow. The Dolphins will get in the playoffs because of tomorrow's game. They'll beat the Packers. Then if they go 9-6, it's going to be almost impossible to fall out. So the Chargers and the Dolphins, man, you know who's going to miss the playoffs? Tennessee, guys. Tennessee's going to miss the playoffs. They got a rookie quarterback for the last 3, and they're playing Jacksonville directly. Jacksonville's going to end up winning that division. CBJ. I would sign him. I would sign Lamar Jackson, definitely. If you don't sign Lamar Jackson, somebody will sign him the next day for $370 million or whatever's a little bit more than Watson. I think you would have to be out of your mind to not sign Lamar Jackson. He's been that good throughout his career. I've seen him do amazing things already. And you know what? He shouldn't come back right now. He doesn't have a guaranteed contract, and he got a sprained knee. He's smart to do exactly what he's doing. He hasn't made a bad step yet. I wish he would have got his contract done. But even if his contract was done, I've seen RG3 have a sprained knee and come back early, and it ruined his career. RG3 was a little slighter built than Lamar Jackson. But I've seen Carson Wentz have a sprained knee, play on it, tear the ACL. When you come back on a sprained knee, the ACL usually goes. I've seen it a lot. The last 20 years, I've seen a lot of guys give it a go on the sprained knee. Cooper Kupp, I think, gave it a go on the sprained knee about 3 years ago, and he tore the ACL. A lot of guys come back good on the ACL. Saquon looks good. What do we got, Robert? Neighborhood picks, like, subscribe. 2 PPR flex. Okay. Connor, bad team. Going to be rough against Tommy Boy. It's going to be a rough one. Dobbins, he's their number 1. I like him, or Watson. Oh, man. I would probably go with Dobbins for sure. And Connor, just because of the volume. The volume. Connor's going to have a heavy volume. If you got to go with 2 out of those 3, You know Connor's the clear-cut number one. You know you're going with a horse. If Connor doesn't do well, it won't be because of lack of opportunity. He's going to get between 10 and 18 carries, should catch a couple balls, and he gets the ball down by the goal line. So Connor and Dobbins there, Robert, for sure. Cody, Juju or Higgins. I also have Mahomes and Pacheco in. Well, I would go with T. Higgins. I think T. Higgins is way better receiver than Juju. T. Higgins can be a number one on any team in the league, and Juju Smith-Schuster can't. Now, Juju's big, unflexible ass. He caught a couple balls the other week, barely, but we know what Juju is. He's a B level receiver at best. He's lucky I'm giving him a B minus today because it's Christmas Eve. But Higgins, I have to give him an A or A minus as the level of receiver he is. And how's the quarterback throwing to him? Joe Burrow. Pretty good. Pretty good. I go with T. Higgins. And Pacheco's I love Pacheco. Pacheco's a damn good back. He jumps out with the eyeball test. Pacheco looks like, whoa. When he runs the ball, it's like a firecracker. Patty, what are you doing, Rye? What's going on, buddy? Big ones today. Beware the dogs again. They're on the premises, Rye. 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 They're back. They're back. We got icicle bowls and high point spreads. Don't even worry. Today we go with all the dogs in the icicle bowls. Bears, they covered the 9 last week against Philly. It was 35 degrees warmer. Give me them again, +9 against Buffalo. I'll go with it. I think Fields could man up enough willpower, just like last week, to keep the Bears in it. Josh Allen's going to be throwing floaters in the wind. The UCL's a little hurt, maybe. I like Tommy Boy to whip up on Arizona's ass tomorrow, too. I like a lot of games. I like Detroit. This is called the Let's Believe What We See weekend. I'm going to take everything that I've been seeing. I'm not going to be like, oh, they looked great the last 3 weeks. They couldn't possibly win right now. No. None of that. We'll have none of that. We'll have none of that. Detroit, $1 million on the table, guys. $1 million. Detroit to Carolina today. You could take the $1 million, but you got to wager it once on that game. Are you betting Carolina with that $1 million? You get back $2 million. $2 million or nothing. You got to bet the game. You're not going to bet the Lions today? I'm going Lions. I'm going in, Rye. Merry Christmas. I'm going in. Lions. Ooh, and Bears. Oh, my. Oh, yeah. We're going in today. Lot of crazy lines. Giants, I'm not touching really because they're too wacky. They're too wacky. Merry Christmas to all the dogs. All the dogs. What do you got there? Christian Watson, Deion Jackson, or McKinnon? Just one of them? Just one of them? You got to go McKinnon. You got to go McKinnon. Even though Deion Jackson is enticing in a dome, in shelter, we've got shelter. Chargers at the Colts in the dome. That makes me pause, but who's the king? Who's the heavyweight champion, literally, of the 5 yards or less air yards, getting guys the ball in space? Fat Andy. Fat Andy's going to get your boy McKinnon the ball in space like 6 times today just by being so damn creative. So I wouldn't worry about – I would go with McKinnon. Go with McKinnon, Rye. Fat Andy's a genius. He's so smart. I like McKinnon. I mean, I like Deion Jackson, but look at the Colts. What's the word? The P word. Puke. Pukeville. They're from Pukeville Street. It's hard watching the Colts. You don't want to put you want to ride. You want your fantasy season to ride on a Colts running back right now that's not named Jonathan Taylor. Is that what you want, Rye? Huh? Wake up. Let's go. Come on, let's go, kid. McKinnon, I think, right? What do you think? What do you think, Rye? Oh, out of Jackson or Watson? I'm not big on Watson. Hasn't knocked my socks off with the eyeball test. I don't have the, I got that Rain Man memory. Watson hasn't knocked my socks off yet. Not sure if I missed him maybe. A little matter of chance. I like Deion Jackson over Watson. I do. Because I had Deion Jackson a couple weeks ago, or maybe a little longer, maybe 5, 6 weeks ago, and he had a big day when they gave him the chance. A lot of Matty Ryan checkdowns, I think, that day. Nick Foles is going to be doing the same thing. That Tennessee's playing, oh no, Chargers are playing the Colts. That's going to be an ugly game. Herbert hasn't breezed through a game since last year. Everything the Chargers do has been tough. That's how you know they're a Fugazi team. He's got like one more touchdown pass than Tommy. And we've been making fun of Brady all year. Herbert burned a lot of us, boy. He burned a lot of us. Danielle. What's up, Danielle? How you doing? Yep. In the spirit of the cold, I wore the one hat that I actually had to pay for with my freezing. I froze at the World Series in 2001 just to get this hat. It was so damn cold. I never expected it to be that cold at a baseball game. It was freezing, and I waited online, and thank God I was 21. I signed up for a credit card, and I got this free hat, and I've had it ever since. Yanks, Diamondbacks. Oh, man, who do we like today? Wall. Oh, who is that? Oh, I thought it was Wally. Wally, how you doing? DeAndre Swift, Christian Watson, flex. Man, I am not sold on Watson like everybody else. Give me I love DeAndre Swift. We know is a good player. He's the number one. Jamal Williams gets carries. Yeah, everybody takes carries away from everybody. Unless your name is like Henry or Saquon, you could be out at any time. Or Chubb. And even Chubb has Hunt. There's not that many, just one bell cows. It's not Barry Sanders and Emmitt Smith anymore. So I like Swift. Swift's a better football player. Yeah, it was worth it. It is. I'm so happy that I'm not playing in today's weather. It's tough. Gardner Minshew is going to have a day today indoors. You guys should look at Gardner Minshew. If I had a quarterback that was playing outside and around that counted for my fantasy season, I would look at Jones. I would look at Jones indoors over my quarterback. I think Daniel Jones. Hey, love you, Rye. Hey, Rye, I'm going to make a call today. I think Daniel Jones will have more fantasy points than maybe Josh Allen. I could see that. I would start Jones maybe over Allen today. I can see Mahomes putting up numbers today. I don't know why. Mahomes is nuts. But, I don't know. If I had Geno, because Geno's been riding with a lot of guys all year. A lot of guys been riding with Geno. I don't think I would start him today in that wind. But he's got DK. DK's a weather changer. DK runs through wind. His muscles have muscles. DK's muscles have muscles. Maybe DK could do a little Plaxico Burress, box it out, just like back off. Back off, little man. I'm about to box you out and catch this 12-yard in. Hopefully they don't bracket. I would bracket DK today. There's not a lot of guys that can succeed in this weather. This is a rough weather day. Rough weather day. Giants or Vikings? I gotta go Giants because I'm a Giants fan, but I have no feel for the game. Would I be surprised if Minnesota came out swinging? No, because I've seen how good they are. Would I be surprised if the Giants win? No, because the fucking Colts, the Colts were beating them 33-0 last week. So why would I be surprised if the Giants whoop their ass? Like, it's crazy. That is a cuckoo bird game. That is a game that if you bet it, you gotta want to have stress that day. Hey, what do I feel like having today? Yeah, give me some stress. Yeah, I think I'll bet the Giants Vikings. I want to fucking have 3 heart attacks during the game. You know what I'm saying? I can't see that one. I don't know if you guys could see it. I can't see that one. That's a rough one. Guys, neighborhood picks. Like, subscribe, share. We got a crazy start sit day. We got a curveball with the weather. We only had a couple games inside, Rye. T-Rich, Big O. Oh, I wonder if Sanford popped in here today. Ogletree. I wonder if you're Ogletree. I would never ask Sanford. He's related to the guy on the Cowboys. Remember the guy with the Cowboys, Ogletree? I had a great receiver in flag leagues later on. Sanford Ogletree. 6'4", like Randy Moss. I would literally throw the ball from one end of the field. It was a 66-yard field. by like 40. It was like arena football. Turf City in Wayne. We won the league. Sanford was the best receiver in the league. I would throw him field to field, and he would just run under it like Randy Moss, Ogletree. Man, what do we got, Danielle? Pickens, big and strong guy. Goodwin, everybody loves Goodwin today. I see why. Or Goddard. Oh man, Goddard's back today. We know Philly, strong team. You can't key on Goddard. I like Goddard as a sneaky play today. You can't key on him because you got A.J. Brown, Devontae Smith, good running back, Miles Sanders. Gardner Minshew is a nice player. I could definitely see him hitting Goddard today more than a few times. Slice him down the middle. Evan Ingram had a good day against Dallas last week. They got him at the tight end position. Goddard, final answer. Goddard. I'm doing a NOOCH Jeopardy from New Year's to Christmas in between next week. I'm going to do a trivia round. I'm going to get some of my buddies on Zoom, and then I'll do one. I'll just record it and see if you guys can find the answers. I'm going to like leave you riddles. I like the trivia. Megatron 1981, numbers to remember if Jefferson's going to make any stab at the MVP. Knox, Otten, and Joke. I don't want to say his name right. Jay, that's tough. I would go with Dawson Knox because of what I've seen lately. He's healthy as he's been all year. He's going to be heavily relied on today in that freezing cold Chicago game. The less air yards, the better. How could you not use your tight end? I wouldn't be surprised if they had a couple tight end screens and stuff like that today. Getting the guys the ball, short air yards. I gotta like the tight ends today. I like the Knox. You're gonna have low scoring fantasy games today. You're gonna have low scoring games. Like I'm saying, I like these guys to have a higher floor than the other guy. Like Knox, I could see him having 16 fantasy points today, 13. I could see Disley or Font, one of them having a couple points, 11, 10. Seattle guys. Kelsey, how could you not take away Kelsey today? Kelsey's going to be involved in all this trickery stuff. You got to out trick the other team. Kelsey's always good. Nobody ever asked me about Kelsey. I would go with Knox, Jay. I would go with Knox. Definitely. Knox, he had a good week last week. What did he have last week, Knox? Nice game. It felt like a nice game to me. When you're getting open in key situations, like you can't always just go by the numbers too. Like that's why it's tough. When a guy's coming on and he has opportunities to score and get in the end zone, that counts just as much as if a guy is going to get yards. Like they use Ayuk when they get around the 35 red zone. They have packages. They go to him a lot, but lately I haven't seen it as much. I've gotten off of him. Tony Pollard, the Pro Bowler. I like that a lot. I like Tony Pollard, the Pro Bowler. Tony Pollard's going to play today indoors. Tony Pollard's getting yards. You got to look. You guys are crazy if you would just blindly start Joe Burrow out there in the cold, Josh Allen out there in the cold. You guys are crazy if you would just start these great quarterbacks over Daniel Jones in the dome today. I don't know, man. It's like fantasy. Like you can have a scrub outdo a star at any given week. You got to be looking for that. Devontae Smith all day. Devontae Smith by a landslide over Juju. Stiff ass. Juju needs Pilates. Juju's way too bulky. He looks like a freaking tight end. Too much Juju. Juju Smith unimpresses me every time I see him. Even when he makes catches, I'm unimpressed. Like, holy shit, Juju, do some yoga or something. Stretch out. Devontae Smith, bad boy. Bad boy, Devontae. He's a very good player. And we were right on him last week, so let's ride the hot hand. Yeah, Knox is an up and down guy, Jay. That's the thing. My mom's got him in another league going for the Super Bowl this week. She wants to start Wall over Knox, but now she's like, Knox just gave him a good game. Knox just gave her a good game. You can't just it's hard to bench him. He's the healthiest he's ever been. He was injured earlier in the year. He's like 4 or 5 weeks back now. Let's see how many weeks Knox is back. That all counts because these guys are not robots, even we think they are. How many? Yeah, man, he never really missed a lot of time. They were nursing him. They were nursing him before. Dawson Knox 7 targets and 8 targets the last 2 games. 15 targets, 10 catches the last 2 games. 41 yards, 98. We know he's capable. We know Josh Allen's throwing to him. I like that. I like those chances. Seth, what do we got here? Akers. Oh, or AJ Dillon. That's a problem. That could be it. I need an Excedrin. Akers, we got little chunky soup, Campbell, McVay, little boy McVay. He doesn't like to run the ball ever. He said every time I run, it feels like I'm wasting a play. So that's not a great endorsement when you own running back. So we got to remember that. AJ Dillon just came alive. He's fucking dead for 14 weeks. I dropped his ass. Now he's scoring. So I see the Packers going back to AJ Dillon a lot more. So I would probably go with AJ Dillon over Cam Akers right now. Yeah, you got to know what's going on currently. Yeah, I would go AJ Dillon. AJ Dillon for sure. Neighborhood picks, guys. Like, subscribe. AJ Dillon has been hot lately. As much as he stunk all year, you're noticing him in the end zone. They're giving him. He's rumbling. He's stumbling. His quads are bigger than my whole body. The guy's a big guy. Give him the rock. Give him the rock. You're not just going on Aaron Rodgers, finding Lazard and Watson and all these guys. Neighborhood picks, guys. Don't forget to like, subscribe, smash that like button. Smash that like button. Get us in the right direction. The live streams are what we go for. I might do a little Christmas morning live stream. Might do one morning, not as long, but I might have to do a little live streamery because we're gonna have a lot of guys hanging on like these 3 games tomorrow. A lot of matchups are gonna be unsettled, and you still gotta put your teams in a little earlier. I'm gonna go early, like maybe a super earlier one. I don't know. We'll figure it out. What about the Eagles starting Gardner? You know what? Let me tell you something. Boss. 3 years ago, that's a long time ago. I remember I was out in Atlantic City, New Jersey before the pandemic. So I had to be 2019 Halloween, right before the pandemic. I was out at a club late at night, probably somewhere I shouldn't have been. And there was a bunch of people dressed as Gardner Minshew. They had the wig, the mullet, the mustache. Dudes were dressing up as this guy for Halloween. That's how good he played. That was his rookie year, 19, 20, 21. This must be his 4th season. Uncle Nooch doesn't need to look everything up. I got the memory like an elephant. I don't even need Prevagen, whatever the hell it's called. Gardner Minshew, 4th season. The more mentally you rep something, the better you get. And this team is fucking loaded. This team is loaded. He's got every piece in play. The big receiver, Hercules, AJ Brown, the skinny receiver, the shifty one, Devontae Smith, the tight end, the Moose, Goddard, Miles Sanders, the good back, the good defense. Always going to get the ball in field position, maybe, or at least a couple times. I like the car Minshew's driving today. Wouldn't be surprised if Minshew outperforms Allen, Burrow, all of those dudes in the cold. Even Rodgers and Tua. I'll take Gardner Minshew in fantasy over Rodgers and Tua this week. Put me on record. Mark it down, T-Rich. 134 minutes. Hour and 34. Gardner Minshew goes higher than Aaron Rodgers and Tua this week against the Dallas D. Because the Philly D's been better than the Dallas D lately. Micah Parsons is a maybe. You guys know that? He got sick. He's got an illness. Micah Parsons out of the game could be huge. Like my father says it to me. Huge. It sounds like it's spelled Y-U-G-E. What that? Oh, that's a huge. Huge. That could be huge. Micah Parsons is good for Gardner. Illness. He's probably going to play sick. The game's today. He was sick yesterday, guys. We got to check on Micah. Got to check on Micah. Don't forget to like and sub, guys. We're rolling through these guys. We're rolling through this round. Semifinals, fantasy football. Shit is getting sticky. It's getting messy out. It's messy, literally. Everybody needs a little luck, and we need to try to make educated guesses on what's going to happen here. I know these cold games are tough, and there's always the one where the teams are scoring. Oh, these are rough, hard to call. I like football with the elements. Kind of like it. Why does Minnesota get to play in a 72-degree game today? Why do they get to play in the nice weather? Why does Minnesota get to do that? But you know, the Patriots, the Raiders, and the Steelers, they got to freeze. What do we got here? Pacheco or London? I don't trust the passing game of Atlanta. I don't trust the passing game of Atlanta right now. I'm going Pacheco right now. They got to run the ball, and he's a little rocket ship. You ride that little rocket ship right to Jupiter. Right to Jupiter. Right to Jupiter. Ride that rocket ship right to Jupiter. Pacheco. You ever been to Jupiter, Jay? Pacheco. You ever traveled at the speed of light? Pacheco. Yes. Yes. Pacheco. I'm going. Drake London has to get a lot of good fortune. He's got to get open a lot. They got to have the quarterback's got to have a day. What if they only have 100 and something yards passing? He's got to get them all. Hill and Waller. Right. Taysom Hill, they're not going to throw the ball as much. I get it. Yeah, they got to get by with smoke and mirrors. The Saints are getting by with smoke and mirrors. The redheaded Rocket's not getting it. He's not going to get it done. It's tough out there. Using Hill a lot. He's like a bowling ball. The guy's big, strong, and fast. He's got a lot of speed, Hill. Oh, Waller. Oh, man. Saints are where? Saints are where? They're in the weather game, right? Saints are in the weather. This is tough. Oh, the Saints, yes, they're at Cleveland. It's going to be -9 at kickoff, -9. I'd be shocked if Hill goes anywhere. I don't know if he's going anywhere today in that cold. He's going to do his crazy shit, and it might not. I don't know, man. I think I would still go with Waller. Carr's a tough son of a bitch. Carr gets emotional when the team's like arguing and shit. Like Carr wants to win bad. I like Derek Carr today. A guy that wants to win that bad doesn't give a shit about the cold. Carr wants to win. That's why I'm going Raiders today and a lot of different things. With my team that I like, with fantasy guys, even though it's cold, I can see Carr getting the ball to Waller. I'm expecting low fantasy scores. I'm expecting leagues that usually have 164 to 157 as a high score, like, usually. I'm expecting to see 118, 112s, or maybe a dude coming in with a 105 or a total stinker. The NOOCH, I think I had an 85 in the toilet bowl of T Bridges League last week. Fucking shit. I'm one round away. I'm a little gas away from the toilet bowl. Wow. Oh, I don't want to win that thing. And I didn't order a toilet bowl. So, and I'm not either. If I win that, one of you guys could order it. Shit. I'm alive in one league. My hometown league. Trying to repeat. My name is Champ Nooch in the league. Yeah. Champ Nooch. Why? Because I was the champ last year. So I let him know. 12-3. Now I'm in the bye. Mel forgot to do the weeks the right way. So my buddy, we're going the wrong weeks. I'm on a bye right now. Great job, Mel. Hope if Jefferson and Cousins are sitting week 18, oh, Mel. What a guy. What a guy. We are getting old. You're getting old, Mel. You're older than me. You're getting old. I can't believe you did that. Fucking guy. I still don't trust Taysom. What do we got here, Gerardo? Full PPR pick 2. Kenneth Walker, Alvin Kamara, Ezekiel Elliott. You know what? Ezekiel Elliott, Kenneth Walker's the #1 horse. You got to play him. And I love Kamara. Kamara is a dual threat, dual weapon, catch, throw. Tony Pollard made the Pro Bowl this year, just now, the other day. Zeke didn't. Get Zeke off your team. Fuck that guy. Hey guys, neighborhood picks, like and subscribe. Zeke Elliott, he's not more valuable than Walker or Kamara right now. So there's no reason to start him today. You might get burned by him, but I'm not going down. My ship's not going down with Ezekiel Elliott there. I'm starting Kamara, hoping he gets catches and runs and does his little. He's got great agility. He's a super player. They got to use him in space. He should get 5 screen passes today. And Kenneth Walker is the horse in Jacksonville. The horse. So I'm going with Walker and Alvin Kamara to the bank. Salute. Daniel Jones reporting for duty, sir. Less than an hour. Daniel, Wink Martindale. Hey, I got a great one. My mom dropped a gem on me this morning, Christmas Eve morning. Ma, shout out to you. Did anyone in this chat know that Wink Martindale, they call him that after a game show host in the 70s? My mom was like, I was saying Wink Martindale on the phone to somebody, and she was like, oh, Wink Martindale, that was a game show host in the 70s, 80s. I was like, what? Really? And I was like, really? So I looked it up. Sure enough, Mama Nooch, stat of the day. Wink Martindale is not really Wink Martindale. They call him Wink Martindale after a game show host that came probably 30 or 40 years before he was born. I looked up the real Wink Martindale. He was born in 1933. I think this Wink Martindale was probably born in the 60s or probably. Wow. Wink Martindale is not the first Wink Martindale. And if guys are on this like, who the fuck is Wink Martindale? It's the defensive coordinator for the New York Giants. Wink, I blitz all the time. Martindale. That's why it's going to be a wacky game. Are they just going to blitz Kirk? Kirk Cousins, the most hit quarterback in the league. This is going to be a great game. Wink Martindale, the biggest blitzer. Kirk, the most hit. We could potentially. Oh, Ma, this could be a rough one for you, Ma. Starting Kirk, you might have to look at Deshaun. I can't talk shit to her. I'm out. Oh man, this is funny. I'm getting excited, man. I'm getting so excited. I'm watching the Buffalo Chicago. This lady on the NFL Network, she's about to blow over. She's about to blow over. She's got the triple fat goose jacket with the fur. The goose is blowing. Her hair, she's got a scully out like me. Any hair that's exposed is blowing. Josh Allen, I don't know if he's going to be able to rip through with the fastball. We're going to see how that elbow feels today. Let's bet that it doesn't feel 100%. Take those points, maybe. Oh, we got a big one. We got a big one. We got a big one today, boys. Went extra long today. Extra long. Most total offensive TDs in first 5 seasons. Allen and Marino, they're tied at 171. Wow. This is Josh Allen's 5th season already. Wow. Time flies when you're having fun. This is Josh Allen's 5th season. Feels like his 3rd. Wow. That's why you can see it, man. This guy's entering his prime. I think Justin Fields and them will keep up in that wind. Justin Fields is stronger than everybody else and faster. He's shown me some crazy stuff this year that I didn't even know. I was like, it made me sit back a few times. Jeff Wilson injured on the Dolphins. You got to start Mostert. If you got any Mostert owners, you got to start him. You got to start him. He's a starter this week. Mostert's running like a thoroughbred. NCAA sprinting champion. I'll repeat myself for those who are new. Sprinting champion. That's why he's so fast still at 30, 31. People think Mostert's 25. He's an old man. He shouldn't even be looking like that. For a running back, 31, that's like dog years. That's like a 45-year-old human. Guys, neighborhood picks. Like, subscribe. Make sure you get it going. I got to do some early Christmas wagering. Have some fun. Get my dad in on a couple parlays with me. See what's going on. Got the parents here. Feeling very thankful. I just want to wish everybody out there a real Merry Christmas, Happy Holidays to everybody and their families. and I'm always wishing everybody the best. Let's win a lot of Scott today, and let's have a lot of fun with these games today. I'll be popping on with shorts and stuff. Always check the channel. There's always stuff going. I'm gonna be reacting to a lot of stuff. So I'll see you guys soon, and probably for a little bit tomorrow morning as well. Why not? All right. Merry Christmas, guys. Peace.